It's a masterclass in revenge. I'm not proud of what I did, but she left me no choice. This is the story of how I destroyed the gold digger who thought she could play me. Before I begin this story, hit that subscribe button, because what you're about to hear isn't just another heartbreak. I never believed love could be bought, until I met Samantha Reed. She had the kind of beauty that made men forget logic. Golden hair, soft voice, and a smile that could melt arrogance. When she walked into my office for the first time, wearing that white dress, I didn't see the red flags. All I saw was perfection. I was Ethan Cole, founder of Tech Industries, a self-made millionaire by 32. I built everything from scratch. And I thought I was smart enough to see through lies. But Samantha, she played me like a violin. We met at a charity gala. She said she was a fashion consultant, working with exclusive clients. Later, I found out that was her way of saying, rich men only. But by then, I was already under her spell. Her game started slow, compliments, charm, then the innocent dependency. Ethan, you make me feel safe, she'd whisper, holding my hand across the restaurant table. You deserve it, Sam, I'd say, not realizing I was already falling into her trap. Within 6 months, she'd moved into my penthouse. Within a year, she was wearing a diamond ring. And within 18 months, she was planning my financial downfall. It started with small things, access to my cards, for emergencies, a new car, for work, and a sudden interest in my business meetings. But something didn't add up. She was too curious about my will, my assets, and the company's shares. Then came the day everything changed. It was a Friday night when I overheard her call. She was in the living room, laughing softly. Her voice had a sweetness I hadn't heard in months. Yeah, he's totally hooked, she whispered. Pause. Another month, and I'll get my name on the joint accounts. Then, baby, we cash out. My heart froze. Another man's voice replied from the speaker, low, smug, confident. Good. Once you've got access, vanish. We'll split it like we planned. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. My world cracked in that moment. Every word, every kiss, every I love you turned to venom. That night I didn't confront her. I just smiled like nothing happened. Because I wasn't going to expose her plan. I was going to play my game, one she'd never win. Studio microphone. You see, everyone thinks gold diggers are smart, that they always get away. But what happens when they dig for gold in the wrong mine? When the man they're playing knows how to play back? That was the night the gold digger's game began. I called my lawyer. Quietly, secretly, I rewrote my will. Every asset, every share, every property was moved, not in my name, but into a trust under my late father's foundation. On paper, I looked broke. Then I gave her exactly what she wanted, access. Her name appeared on the accounts. She smiled wider that day than on our wedding day. You really trust me now, huh? She teased. I smiled. With everything I've got. Inside, I was laughing. Because what she didn't know was, I was recording everything. Every call, every message, every move. And when the time came, I would bury her with her own greed. She thought she was playing me for millions. But she didn't realize the game had already started, and I'd written the rules. The next morning, Samantha acted as if nothing had happened. She made coffee, hummed to herself, and wore my favorite red dress. But now, every word she said sounded like poison. I watched her smile, and I memorized it. Because soon, that same smile would vanish forever. I began my plan quietly. For weeks, I acted like the perfect husband. I booked her a spa trip. I bought her jewelry. I let her believe she had me wrapped around her finger. But every move was designed, like chess. I made sure all her spending went through one new account, the one I had full control over. I told her it was, for our future, a joint savings plan. She didn't hesitate. Of course, babe, she said sweetly, signing the papers. That account wasn't just a trap, it was bait. I set it up with just enough money to tempt her, $2 million. But the moment she touched it, I'd have everything I needed. Then came Alex, her secret lover, the man I'd heard on that call. A wannabe investor, smooth talker, and total fraud. Samantha thought I didn't know about him. She was wrong. My friend Ryan, a private investigator, started tailing her. Within days I had photos, videos, even audio of them together. They met in hotels, cafes, and once, in our own lake house. The lake house I built for our honeymoon. I watched that footage 10 times before I smiled. Not because I enjoyed the pain, but because I now had proof. One night, Samantha came home late. I was sitting by the fireplace, pretending to work. She smelled like another man's cologne. "Long day?" I asked casually. "Yeah," she sighed. "Meeting a client." "Did the client kiss you goodbye?" She froze. "What?" "Nothing," I smiled. "Just thought I smelled someone else's success." Her eyes twitched, but she forced a laugh. "You're imagining things, Ethan." "Maybe," I said, sipping my whiskey. "But imagination is dangerous, isn't it?" She turned away quickly, hiding her nervousness. That's when I knew she was starting to feel the pressure. Days later, I dropped the next trap. I told her I was planning to sell part of my company. For us. I acted nervous, distracted, and easy to manipulate. "You think I should transfer the money to that new account?" I asked. "Yes, of course," she said quickly. "That way, no one can touch it but us." "You're right," I replied, pretending to hesitate. "Only us." She took the bait. That night, while I slept, she made her move. I had security cameras hidden in the study. At 2:14 a.m., she crept into my office, opened the laptop, and transferred the funds. Except, the moment she clicked confirm, a silent alert was sent to my phone. I watched the entire thing in real time. Her hands trembling, her eyes shining with greed. "Sorry, Ethan," she whispered. "But I deserve this." The next morning, I acted normal. Made her breakfast. Kissed her forehead. Then I told her we were taking a trip. A surprise weekend getaway. She loved surprises. She didn't know this one would end her game forever. We drove to the lake house. The same place where she betrayed me. When we arrived, she smiled, thinking I was trying to rekindle romance. "You're really doing this for us?" she asked. "For us," I repeated. Inside, the air smelled like betrayal. I poured her wine, handed her the glass, and looked into her eyes. "Samantha," I said softly, "do you believe every game has a winner?" She laughed. "Of course. And I'm usually that winner." "Not this time," I whispered. I pressed a button on my phone. The TV lit up, playing the footage of her and Alex in our bedroom. The color drained from her face. Her hand trembled, spilling the wine. "Ethan." "Save it," I said coldly. "I've been watching your little gold digger show for months." She fell to her knees. "It's not what it looks like." "No?" I cut her off. "Because it looks like you just tried to steal $2 million from me." I opened the laptop and turned it toward her. The transaction logs blinked on the screen. "You see this? Every cent you moved was fake. The account? Traced. The money? Marked. And this video." I pointed to the hidden camera footage. Already backed up to 5 lawyers and the police. Tears streamed down her face. "Ethan, please, don't ruin me." "Ruin you?" I smiled. "No, Samantha. I'm just letting you watch yourself lose." She begged for forgiveness. But I was done forgiving. Studio microphone. She thought she could play me. But she never realized she was just another pawn in my game. And the moment she fell, the world would see what happens when greed meets intelligence. I didn't call the police that night. No. That would have been too merciful. I let her think she got away. Because the next part of my revenge was still coming. She thought it was over. But the gold digger didn't know I had one final move left. The kind that would destroy not just her lies, but everything she ever loved. Samantha left the lake house the next morning. Her eyes were swollen, her face pale, but she still tried to act innocent. "Ethan, I'll make things right," she said softly. "You already did," I replied. "Just not the way you think." She didn't know I'd already planted the seeds of her downfall. You see, revenge isn't just about anger. It's about timing. And my timing was perfect. I waited exactly 1 week. In that time, Samantha tried everything, calling, texting, pretending to care. But I stayed silent. She thought I'd forgiven her. She even posted photos on social media, old pictures of us together, writing captions like, "True love never dies." I almost laughed when I saw them. Because the world was about to see who she really was. That Friday, I hosted Kolteka's annual charity gala, the same kind of event where I'd first met her. But this time, she wasn't the guest of honor. She was the show. I invited her personally. Told her I wanted to rebuild trust. She arrived in a glittering silver gown, looking like nothing had happened. Everyone turned to look. She loved attention. "You look beautiful tonight," I said, greeting her with a smile that hid my fury. "Thank you, Ethan," she whispered. "Maybe this is a new beginning." I raised my glass. "Oh, it's a beginning, all right. Another month, and I'll get his money. Then, baby, we cash out." The crowd gasped. Cameras clicked. Phones started recording. Samantha's face turned ghost white. "Ethan, stop this," she cried. "Why?" I said calmly. "You wanted to be famous, right?" The video continued, clips of her at the lake house, screenshots of the bank transfer, even audio of her plotting. Every secret, every betrayal, exposed in front of hundreds of people. "You used me for money, Samantha. But what you didn't know," I said, "was that every lie has an expiration date." She tried to run, but security blocked her path. The reporters outside swarmed the building within minutes. The next morning, every headline screamed her name. "Millionaire's wife exposed as gold digger in viral video scandal." Samantha's life unraveled overnight. Her lover, Alex, vanished with fake documents I'd fed him through an anonymous investor. Her accounts were frozen. Her reputation destroyed. And me? I didn't lose a single dollar. Because everything she tried to steal was fake, a performance designed for her greed. Studio microphone. They say revenge doesn't bring peace. Maybe they're right. But it brings something better, closure. Weeks passed. I focused on work again. My company thrived. People stopped talking about her. Until one morning, I received a letter. Handwritten. No return address. "Ethan, I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know. I loved you, maybe not in the right way, but I did. I lost everything, but maybe I deserved it. Goodbye. Samantha." I stared at that note for a long time. And for the first time in months, I felt something close to pity. But pity isn't the same as regret. "You wanted to play the gold digger's game, Samantha," I whispered. "And you played it well, until I flipped the board." If you're watching this, remember, not every love story ends with roses. Some end with revenge. And to all the gold diggers out there, never underestimate the one who taught you the rules. If you enjoyed my story, hit that subscribe button, because next time, I'll tell you how karma came back, but not for me.